one day just Shaolin came up somewhere, read about it. In 10 days I was there. We were 6 foreigners and 35,000 Chinese students. There was a bell at 5 a.m. means wake up. Bell at 5:20 line up. 5:22 start running. When you're running, you have 35,000 feet in sync. It's that discipline. You don't say no. After having one of the best years of movement, I had both my knees. I was on a wheelchair. And it made me, when I had my double knee surgery, I could not walk. I needed help to go to the bathroom. And it was the most depressing thing ever because I had fresh memories of me on this big wave and, grappling. And I was like, Jesus. So it was actually I took it as a calling that I was going too fast.
You had to slow down.
And that was my way to slow down. And my way to get back was I had to keep it playful.
For me, I don't think fitness is to do with appearance. And mental health is priority. If you're feeling good, if you're, if you're smiling, the rest of your day, the choices, everything else. I've seen my posture change just like by training with him. I've seen myself be okay to take more challenges.
You are fearless. So
He also tells me to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's
the
so
moment you leave your comfort zone is where you grow. I've always believed in that.
That's where you grow.
I have this newfound love for yoga, which I discovered on one of my retreats.
Okay.
And since then I've started, it's changed a lot in me in terms of muscle flexibility. When I used to work out, listen, I'm from the 90s and 90s we used to push. And like it's going out of style, right? So a lot of my muscles were really tight, I would not stretch. But since I incorporated yoga into my routine,
great balance, yeah?
कुछ भी बोलो, कैसे भी बोलो, कहाँ से बोलना है. So I feel a lot better and like I said, I incorporate a little bit of cardio every day. I don't care. Welcome to Unstoppable with Rohit Roy, powered by Ritebite Max Protein. Today's episode promises to be extremely insightful because we have with us a fitness guru and his beautiful muse, both of whom who have made their mark in their respective fields. My first guest is Anya Singh, a talented actress who has captivated audiences with her performances in films and shows. Anya's journey in the entertainment industry, right from her debut in Qaidi Band to her recent role of Lala in the brilliant Kho Gaye Hum Kahan, displays her versatility at such a young age. Her passion for acting and her continuous efforts to take on diverse roles make her a promising talent in Indian cinema. Next, I'm super stoked to welcome robinbehl, a mountaineer, a movement practitioner, co-founder of the tribe India. Robin's path is marked by diverse experiences and achievements, from training at the Shaolin Temple, I didn't know that, to reaching the Everest Base Camp. His holistic approach to fitness and wellness, coupled with his dedication and resilience, makes him a notable figure in the wellness community. Without further ado, let's welcome Anya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That was such a nice introduction.
So lovely
Very
to have
kind.
you. Robin, good to see you again.
Thank you.
I actually met him on a film set.
Correct.
Do you remember that?
Student of the year.
Student of the year. My wife was playing a part in the film and he was there.
My assisting days.
Yeah, your assistant.
Correct.
Days.
I didn't even know for the longest time. No, when I started to train with him, for the longest time, I didn't know that he had been an AD.
Oh, really?
There was so much, like he would never talk about the fact that he had been a part of filmmaking or anything. And randomly one day, he's like, yeah, I know him because I AD'd with him. And I was like, what?
Right.
When?
So why did you AD? If you did, you have any thoughts of getting into the industry or?
Always, like growing up, I had a lot of family in film and I grew up in that environment. I always thought I wanted to be in film.
Okay.
I started interning when I was 18 on this film called Brothers with Dharma.
Right.
And from there, I just kept going one film to another film, got into advertising, started, climbing that AD ladder, not knowing, learning a lot, absolutely. I still use what I learned even in what I do today.
Right.
But it's also kind of a trap.
Oh, it is.
And I kept going.
Especially ADing is a trap. Unless you really get out of it quickly, you remain in AD all your life.
No, it was a trap. And
so you said bye-bye to cinema?
Oh, it was one morning, I just ripped it. I was on a film in the lockdown. It was a decision which actually Karan was on the show as well, my partner at the tribe. I met him at his gym. We started the tribe as just some pocket money on the beach.
Right.
We used to go to the beach, teach some people, get a little pocket money. I was still aiding, he had his gym.
Right.
Till the lockdown hit.
His gym was right next to my house.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct. And yeah, one day in the lockdown, I woke up and I was like, we were taking classes as a charity drive with the tribe, and Anushka got on board, and that's how it happened. And I used to wake up in the lockdown at 7 a.m. Lockdown 7 a.m. was like 2:30 a.m. You know, and I used to wake up excited and
Excited to train?
to teach people online. And I was like, I've been working as an AD for like 6 years. Not once have I felt this. And I asked my mom, I was like, you know, this is how I feel. What should I do? And
That's how you got the calling?
yeah, she gave me the best advice ever. She said, you're a grown man, figure it out. And
But true.
it was great. And that day I said, okay, you know, that time we weren't like, it was all charity. So
Were
that
you from a film family at all?
in a way, yeah.
Okay.
In a way, I have a lot of family in film, and that's how, you know, been around them,
Right.
seen
Do
it.
you miss the set?
Absolutely not.
No, but I feel like
No.
he's still connected.
I'm connected in a different way.
In a
Yes.
different way.
Like my first time back on set was with Adarsh and Anya on Kho Gaye.
Right, yeah.
And
we're going to talk
and
about that for sure.
actually, good story. No, actually, first time was back with Adi on Night Manager.
Okay.
And
You trained him as
I
well?
trained Aditya Roy Kapoor for Night Manager, and the film he did after that, Gumrah.
Gumrah, yes.
And actually, the circle was I was the first AD on Gumrah in the lockdown, which was the film I quit.
Oh, wow.
And it took a full circle and set me back there
Did you know this?
No.
Oh.
with with Aditya on that film, and I was like, oh wow, this is, and I knew everyone, everything, what was happening because I
So
worked.
in a way, I mean, you're saying you don't miss it at all, but in
I'm
a
connected.
way, there's always that thing, कि यार, मजा तो आता है.
It's
मजा तो आता
there,
है.
yeah. Probably miss the set. I don't miss the lifestyle of an AD.
No, nobody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
does.
don't think so, yeah.
Anya, coming to you, I was going to start with you, but then we started the discussion, and since I'd met him there, you come from Delhi, and now
Yes.
you told me London to Chandigarh to Delhi.
Yes.
And any family background which prompted you to come to Bombay to do cinema, films? How did your journey begin? Because I don't know much about your past.
So, I actually went to boarding school.
Okay.
I went to Mayo. And
went to Mayo?
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like in a boarding school, you are pushed to try everything, which is a wonderful thing. And back then, I was I am a trained Odissi dancer. So we would do performances on stage, and I used to thoroughly enjoy the feeling of, you kind of tune out, you know, when you're performing, because it's also, you can't see anything in front of you, and you're so in sync with what you're doing at that point. You're so
Interesting.
present. I used to really enjoy that. So actually, growing up, I loved, and I still do, Hindi music. I didn't want
We
to
all
act.
do, yeah.
Me too.
You know,
Acting,
I've never been able to dance on English music for some reason. When I want to dance on English songs. Yeah.
always. And like, you know, Karishma Kapoor, Govinda,
Correct, of course,
all these
exactly.
songs were like, I used to love them. And back then, I feel like content was not king, it was more music that would uplift a
of course,
film.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll come to Bombay, I'll dance, I'll enjoy myself. And just as I came,
Just like that, you came.
not just like that, it was a very difficult conversation, I think, with my parents, because we're so far removed from
Correct.
Bombay.
They
And
had
this,
no connection to the industry.
not at all, nothing. I knew one girl in Bombay who I lived with, and she was in the banking thing.
wow.
Yeah, she works with Citibank, still does in London now. But I was just, there was something in me. So, little backstory, I started working with a wedding planner in college.
Oh, wow. In Delhi?
In Delhi University. And whenever I used to go, I was that kid who'd watch every person's Sangeet and thoroughly enjoy everyone's families dancing to these songs. And I used to be like, I need to go there. And that was the conversation I struck with my mom, where I said, even if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't regret that I never tried it.
Absolutely.
And that was the only thing that stuck with her, because I kept telling her, this is really mean, because I used to be like, I'll hold it against you for the rest of my life. That
Yeah,
I didn't
because
even
if
get
you
a
don't try it,
chance.
you don't know what you failed at, right?
Absolutely. And it's okay to fail, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely okay to fail.
But it's, I mean, if you don't try, you won't know.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you
It's
won't know.
criminal not to try.
Yeah, and maybe I wouldn't enjoy this. But once I tried it is when I realized that I thoroughly enjoy being on a set. I didn't
What
even...
was your first gig?
My first gig was a Dove ad, I remember clearly. I was standing
Oh, I
outside...
can portray you in a dog.
I was standing outside college in Delhi, and someone just came and said, we're doing this ad, would
अच्छा, ये
you...
दिल्ली में किया था?
हाँ जी.
अच्छा.
कास्टिंग दिल्ली में हुई थी,
अच्छा,
शूटिंग
shooting
यहाँ
यहाँ
हुई थी. And
मैं
this,
हिंदी में इसलिए बात कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं जानना चाहता था कि ये अंग्रेज लोग हिंदी में बात करते हैं कि नहीं।
मैं बिल्कुल अंग्रेज नहीं हूँ, बस मेरा पासपोर्ट अंग्रेज का है बस. Talk to him in Hindi.
मैं वो तो बात करेंगे
हाँ,
ही नहीं।
try Robin.
He sensed it.
Yeah.
So
I tried it with him, it didn't work.
my first commercial, and I was so nervous through that commercial. All I had to do was this,
I know.
and I just, it was
No, it's
so.
tough to do that when you know,
It was
that's all you
nerve-wracking.
have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but your hand has to go a certain way. And I was just like, this is very technical. I'm not understanding. And why is it taking so long
Oh, yeah.
to just
Oh
shoot
my
this?
God.
Why is it so hard to do just that? Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It is.
You know, I also started from advertising as to assist Kunal Kapoor.
Oh.
And another friend of ours, Prahlad Kakkad, the Don, the legend, he was shooting a film just because you said this. And I was assisting and I was standing there and we were shooting a film for close-up. So if you
Acha.
remember, the close-up ka pack shot used to be,
Yes.
remember that?
Yeah.
It's legendary.
Yeah.
And he took the shot, he said, okay, moving on. And I went to him and said, sir, I don't think the shot was right. For an AD to go and tell Prahlad Kakkad.
Yeah.
Prahlad wearing his chashma said, why? What do you think was wrong? I okayed it. I said, sir, this film is for Bangladesh. So instead of this, you should do this. Very subtle there. You know, Bangladeshis are a little more, you know, he said, he reset the whole shot.
No.
So aiding is not always bad. You learn a lot.
A lot.
He
Yeah.
reset the whole shot. He said,
That's
now
cool.
you go and take shot. That was my first shot that I took
Oh,
as
wow.
a director. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I had a great time in my first year in Bombay.
But
I
that-
also just came.
Just came.
Just came.
Yeah.
देखते हैं क्या होता है.
And
That
we
takes
never
guts,
left.
huh?
You never
But
left. एक बार यहाँ की चाय पी ली ना,
Wait.
कोई नहीं जाएगा. On that note, let's take a sip. Cheers. I'm happy.
Cheers.
Both of you being here is going to be excellent because I've read up on both of you and
Really?
lots of questions for you about her.
Oh, God. We're very honest.
Yeah, of course.
Very.
Yeah. This is a show where we are trying to inspire.
She told me, don't be
young
too
kids
honest.
To get into fitness and stay there. You've done a lot, yeah. I mean, you just spoke about your mountaineering. You trained at the Shaolin Temple for what?
So I was at Shaolin for around 6 months in 2017 when I was 21
Okay.
for no reason.
For no reason.
So
I love it.
I
yeah.
actually went to. So I was
So
a.
she came to Bombay for no reason. I came to Bombay for no reason. He went to Shaolin for no reason, and we're all here.
We're all here. I don't know. I found something in traveling like experiencing something which scared me.
Okay.
And there's something which I get from my teacher where, you know, he says the orientation is not happiness, it's fearlessness. So don't move towards happiness, move towards being fearless. So that's something that stayed with me, and that time he wasn't even my teacher. That's another story where it took me 9 years.
You're talking about Shaolin Temple?
This I'm talking about Ido Portal, my movement coach right now, who I finally got
How
to
did
be
you
with.
gravitate towards all of this at your age?
Honestly, it was when I was 19, I was a Jamnabai boy who had just come
yeah.
out doing things I shouldn't be doing,
Right.
night out, eating shit, just a terrible
this is
lifestyle,
regular, yeah.
and I wasn't happy. And one morning, I remember I had to give this exam for, I was a Jai Hind, my final year or my second, I don't remember, and I called Just Dial. And I was like, you know, any of these trips going to the mountains or, you know, these adventure camps or something like that.
Randomly you called?
Randomly. I'll go to the mountains and figure it out. And they send your number to the companies and then the companies call you. And the company called me and they're like, we have a trip going to Everest Base Camp. And I said, shit, okay. I never thought that intense, but this is what I need. And
Your first?
My first,
Was
19.
to Everest Base Camp?
And I had worked a little bit, you know, and saved up as a stipend, nothing, maybe like 20, I remember it was 22, 23,000.
Right.
And I called my dad confidently and I said, I'm sending you a PDF. Just look at it, but trust me. I said, all you gotta do is trust me and call me back. He saw it and he just called me and said, you think you can do it? I said, I can do it. I don't have the money to do it. I have so much saved, which it wasn't enough.
Right.
But I was like, don't worry, I'll keep tab, but this one's on me and I need to do it. Best thing my parents have done is they just believed.
Wow,
And he
yeah.
said, go for it. I went for it. At that point, it was the hardest shit I had done. I had no idea what I was putting myself
And
through.
you haven't trained for it at all?
Nothing. Trained for it as in once I knew I was doing it, I used to take a backpack loaded with all my college books, wear it, and I stay in Panchtantra next day. Go up and down 18 floors. Just go up and down till I could no more. That's all I did. And then I went there, it broke me. mentally. The altitude, it's like a hangover from hell. You can't move, and then you have to do 10 hours with that. And I had an incident where one morning, just the day before I reached base camp, we saw a Korean woman who just passed away in her sleep because she had a AMS prior condition. She might have had a prior heart condition, and I was 19.
Scary, yeah.
I had nobody. I could not move. I was there, and they're like, let's go. I was like, no way. And it took me some time, gathered myself. I made it. I came back, but I had opened a door. I had opened a different door for myself, which could not be shut. And then I was hooked.
That was your initiation.
That was my initiation. Then I started diving. I became a rescue diver. I came back. I could not do Bombay anymore. I just couldn't. I couldn't be there.
Imagine, yeah.
I couldn't relate. I love my friends, but I just couldn't relate at that moment. I needed more purpose. And one day, just Shaolin came up somewhere, read about it. In 10 days, I was there.
So what language do they teach you?
Mandarin.
And how?
And we were 6 foreigners and 35,000 Chinese students.
So how did you?
You don't. Your shifu says, okay. Problem means terrible. Progress means good. You study means practice. And if anything else, okay. If I tell him, shifu, I'm not good. Okay. You study, you practice. That's it. So you had to pick it up. We had Mandarin lessons every evening where we studied Mandarin. So I used to actually go take lessons because otherwise how do you eat? I didn't know what I was eating for 2 months.
Yeah.
After 2 months I figured my chicken was not chicken.
Oh my God.
Because the accents, I was eating duck. Mushrooms or something else only. Something of like connected to an elephant. I was like, Jesus, what's happening? So I had to.
And that experience shaped you how?
Changed me.
Changed you completely?
Problems were problems. There was a bell at 5 a.m. means wake up. Bell at 5:20 line up. 5:22 start running. When you're running, you have 35,000 feet in sync. The 1 foot out of sync might have been me. It's that discipline. You don't say no. Your shifu, your master, your teacher, your guide, he is equivalent or even more than your father. And a good thing I found there is I found this Chinese kid who wanted to learn English. So whatever I used to study in Mandarin in the evening. So we used to train for 10 hours a day. And in the evening, I had Mandarin lessons from 6:30 to 7:30. Whatever they taught me in Mandarin, I'd switch it up and teach that kid in English. So that's how I managed to keep paying for my stay there.
Oh, wow.
And I just kept staying on and on. Then till one point I was like, okay, because my visa was expiring and they don't renew
Excellent,
it.
yeah. What a start to your life.
So
yeah.
that was
Excellent. More power to you, man.
And
so
how
Anya,
long?
Almost 6 months.
We've got our sets of problems on sets also. Yeah?
Yes.
yeah.
You have to be healthy up here,
Yeah.
here. How do you manage? Because you shoot a lot. What are the challenges that you face and how do you overcome them?
So, I feel like, and I'm going to be very honest here, growing up, I played a lot of sports.
Right.
And I danced. So, fitness for me was never a gym. In fact, when I moved to Bombay and people used to be like, oh, you should go and train.
Yeah.
The concept of it was just very alien to me and I didn't enjoy it because it was enclosed. Till I met Sir.
So,
And like you're saying, we used to, sometimes you are working 16 hours, sometimes it's 17 hours, sometimes it's 12 hours if you're lucky enough.
Yeah.
And this gentleman, even in my 16th hour, would call me and be like, I'm waiting at the gym, so you're coming here after.
You need somebody like
You do.
that.
first month we used to train at 9:30 p.m. and I started at 5 a.m.
My God.
And of course, I was given a target for her.
Right.
So I had to make sure it's achieved. So I said, I'm waiting for you, you come.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be your failure.
They come.
But
Yeah.
at that point, for me, it was not ki, oh, I have to reach this target. For me, it was, I'm exhausted. I want to go home. I want to eat that burger, that comfort
Oh my
food, you
God.
know. And he used to just be like, I don't care. Come. And that's why I think his journey of reaching fearlessness, his journey of not saying no to anything, I have learned so much from him within the last 2 years.
I'm learning right now on the show.
And continued. I mean, Kho Gaye was Feb to September.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah. And I continued to train with him after, and I can go nowhere else with nobody else, because for me, it's not to do, for me, I don't think fitness is to do with appearance. It's to do with so much
Overall
more.
health and wellness.
Of course.
Yeah, you feel so good.
And mental health is priority. If you're feeling good, if you're, if you're smiling, the rest of your day, the choices, everything else. I've seen my posture change just like by training with him. I've seen myself be okay to take more challenges or to do things that
You are fearless. So
Yeah.
you're getting, I can
He
see
also
that.
tells me to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
it's
the
so
moment you leave your comfort zone is where you grow. I've always
grow.
believed in that.
That's where you grow.
You know, I used to have, personally, I used to have a fear of the deep sea. And because I'm a swimmer, but I don't know how to float for some reason. I
Okay.
don't know, as a child, I never went to pools. And
Huh.
those days, there were hardly any pools. And what I did for myself was I took part in Fear Factor.
Oh.
Oh,
I said,
damn.
okay, I'm going to do this. So they've been asking me for the last 7 odd years.
Yeah.
And I used to shy away because I know most of the stunts are what
They're hectic also.
They're hectic.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
so
yeah,
tough.
it's
And not
wild.
like films where we plan it, we do it a couple of times, we rehearse and then we get on. Nothing. They just put on the harness
And go.
and they show you. And you go. So people think, अरे यार ये तो दिखाया होगा या
हाँ.
किया. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है.
No.
So I took part. I said, okay, I'm going to do it this year. And I trained. ट्रेन क्या 7 दिन गया स्विमिंग पूल में. उसने मुझे सिखाया नीचे कैसे बैठते हैं. पानी में जाके बैठ जाओ आप. You know, you'll never sink. If you just breathe and you'll come up. And I did. My first stunt.
Was water.
Water.
My first stunt is I am harnessless on a helicopter and it's going up and you have to be the last one to leave that damn thing. The top 3 win. Other top 4. And I fell into the middle of the cold ocean, which was -2 degrees or something like that. My first stunt. But that took me out of my comfort zone and I have no fear of the deep sea now.
I can't even imagine this. I'm
You know, I
I'm
shat
nervous.
when I saw
Yeah.
it. I said, I told them, I said, I only have one problem. Let me get used to it. It's the deep sea. And the first stunt only.
We're going to take you there
Ah,
first.
let's do it.
Yeah.
But that moment will never leave you.
Yeah, it won't ever.
And it's
I
shaped
remember
so many
it
things.
vividly.
Yeah, it shapes so many things. Like small moments there which they might be small, like even if I say it'll feel insignificant, but I know it's with me. And I know what impact it's played in different ways. So that's actually, it's a little intense, I think, what you did, but it's cool.
It's a little intense, but you know, it kind of really freed me forever. And
It's liberating.
Come on, till now I had that worry all my life.
Yeah.
Had I taken that step earlier, maybe I would have gotten out of it. So you said you didn't believe in strength training at the time that you
I didn't
came here.
even know what
You
it
don't
was.
She didn't believe in training.
You didn't
I
know.
yeah, I
But
was
you do realize now that it is a very important thing. One of the things we tell our listeners and viewers, especially ladies who think यार जिम जाएंगे तो body muscle बन जाएगा.
हाँ.
You know, so now you do know. So since you said you were always fit, do you think that?
no, I was always thin.
Thin.
I was thin. I was not a fit person at
But
all.
dancing and all that.
But see, when I came to Bombay, where was I dancing? There was no regularity in anything that I was doing or discipline. It was just God was kind and I was a skinny girl. So I got passed and through till I met him.
So then, do you believe that Robin, in terms of health, fitness, and mental health, took you to the next level?
It's been an
Many
incredible journey. And I feel like that trust I had to earn. It's not something that's just come.
Yeah,
2
listening
years.
those words, you must have had
Yeah. 2 years. And we used to fight. I've cried. We've had arguments, we've had disagreements. And today, when he says, okay, you train with me, for me, that's the biggest, I feel like I've earned a spot where I'm worthy enough
cool, yeah.
to train next to him and not be his student. Of course, I will always be his student.
I'm a good student.
I've been waiting for you for so long.
I have promised now. I promised Anushka day before yesterday that I am joining. I'm going to Kerala.
You
for my
must.
I have to. You know, I've been planning to for a long time, but some other niggle and all. She said the niggles will sort out.
Yeah.
If you
Niggles
don't
come.
then I will.
We've fought our own niggles.
Now after hearing your story, my niggle is nothing.
I get right now. I have only knees, spine, shoulder.
Spine.
Not problems.
Oh,
I
so you
mean,
mean
like
people,
students, students like.
So how do you handle the problem? So fitness and workout routines are different.
Yeah.
But is your knowledge so deep enough that you can actually help people with, say, I have a recurring knee problem. There's nothing wrong with it. My scans are fine, but I can't sit in Vajrasana anymore. Because
Okay.
This is so tough.
Yeah.
I also get a lot of knee pain.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
Did he help you?
Yes.
Tell me.
So see, I think I need to establish a relationship with the body I'm working with.
Okay.
It comes, the body, the mind, your issues can be due to stress also.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Lifestyle,
Little bit, yes.
the way you sleep, the way you eat, relationships. So one, I need to establish that. Two, I like working out of alignment.
What does that mean?
It means you ever pause a tennis game or a basketball game, you'll never see a player in a perfect squat.
Correct.
That's not how it is. So I like to train to embrace chaos. So it depends on who I'm working with. Now, let's say in the profession, you might have a lot of action, you might have stuff.
Correct.
You're never going to be in a perfect lunge or in a perfect pull-up, or you might be hanging on one hand rotating.
Right.
So I need to prepare that shoulder, I need to prepare that spine in a certain way where it's comfortable to embrace any sort of chaos out of alignment, not in straight lines.
So you also yourself are constantly learning, right?
Constantly, it never ends. Like the language is complexity. The more I do it, the less I understand it.
Okay.
So there's never a peak, you know. And if I get, like now, let's say I spend 10 minutes a day juggling. Why? It allows me to stay dialed in. And I have one task.
yeah.
I need to stay dialed in. Let there be anything around me. I do not detach from the task. But the second my 10-minute timer rings, whether I'm successful or I'm unsuccessful, it doesn't matter. I won't get one more rep because 10 minutes, leave
Just
it.
10 minutes.
What happens is we also get attached to the problem.
Huge discipline. Yeah.
Big. And it changed a lot for me. Like now you're attached to the problem that I can't sit a certain way. So it's there. You've told yourself you're attached to it. So first we have to detach from that problem. Make you work out of alignment, work the tendons, ligaments in a certain way, test certain areas. Of course, I'll work with caution because I know it's already something. And then kind of shift the neurological makeup to a point where we can work through it. And keep getting consent from a professional, from your physiotherapist, from your doctors,
Of course,
and
of
see it. And so I like to work in sync with them and not completely oppose them and be like, no, that's full of shit. I'll tell you what to do. No. I was like, okay,
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who say that, and most
Lots.
of them are not even trained to say it. You know, they do a lot of damage to these young kids who started to work out, and the kind of advice I have heard in my gym being given to these young guys, they don't even do a bicep curl properly.
There's no quality.
Yeah, there's no
like
quality.
I keep telling her, we do not
How
need
was she
that
as a student?
10th rep. Anya,
From the beginning, be honest.
how honest?
Very honest.
Initially, Anya,
Yeah.
she was.
Hesitant?
She didn't trust the process. And with me and my student, my first thing is you got to trust the process, or however good or however bad I might be, we're going nowhere. We're going to be stuck. So it took
Your process
time.
is a little different from the rest.
Yeah, so it took time for me to get her on board with it. And she's like, okay, fine, this is it. Let's go. And it has to be a two-way street.
Correct.
So that initial crunch was very hard.
Yeah.
I could not break her for a while because I had her and Adarsh. Adarsh, on the other hand, was the best student I have ever had.
Yeah, man.
Like, I miss him.
He made a superb body.
He's
yeah.
too good.
We
I
were
saw him
just
in the
talking.
White Tiger, and then I saw him in this.
This.
I hadn't seen any of his other work in between. I don't think he did anything in between.
No, then he did Guns and Gulabs after Kho
that
Gaye.
was
Haan,
That was while they were prepping, while we were doing Kho Gaye only.
In Kho Gaye, he looked like a...
Incredible.
You trained him as well?
Yeah. So I used to be inspired by the guy. He used to be, we were on FaceTime at night. He would finish shooting for this, what was it?
Kho Gaye Hum
No,
Kahan.
Guns and Gulab.
Guns and Gulabs.
At like 1 a.m., 1:30 in Mussoorie. I'm fast asleep with my phone against something on FaceTime. And he's training. And he wants me, and he'll just see one rep, okay. And after that, he'll tell me. So we were there. He was
You guys
at it.
still train offline? Online?
Adarsh? Or
No, anyway.
Of course, yeah. We've got
I've
clients
never gotten
in.
used to this concept of training online. It takes a while. to
Yeah,
get
it's
used
not
to.
even a while. It just, you need to be set. Like, okay, that preconceived notion has to be out and it has to be there. It's like now Anya's here. Anya's traveling for 3
How
months.
is she now?
Now she's a good student.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the best part is.
Yay!
She comes before time.
Yeah.
For me, time is key.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
1 minute, 12:30 class, 12:30 is late.
He has. I'm not joking. There have been times where I'm 2 minutes late. I used to come from Bandra to Juhu. Okay.
Wow.
If I'm even 2 minutes late, what is the time I told you? Let's say 12.
That's a bit
That's
harsh.
12:30.
yeah. Bombay, you have to allow for 10, 15
We're not
minutes.
training today. Train with someone else.
No way.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we've had
I'll explain.
like,
No, let her finish.
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
and I've just sat there being like, dude, why are you not understanding that I'm trying my best?
coming
There
from
was
work.
traffic. Can you please 10 minutes ka leeway de do yaar?
You were not being lackadaisical
No.
or anything like that.
And the best, so I'll give the flip side of this also. The same or the next day, another student was 45 minutes late.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And he's like,
Did he give up?
45 minutes,
So I'll tell you how it
I
works.
told you.
For me, there's
Let
a
me
distinction
finish.
between a
One
client
second.
and a
story
student.
not over.
Let me
Okay,
finish.
I'll wait.
Let me finish my story.
Yeah.
So
This is more
45,
interesting.
45 minutes, and I'm sitting there noticing his behavior. So the next day,
Was
obviously,
he cute?
no, it was a he.
He?
It was not even a she. For the longest time, he didn't train any other girl but me, by the way. He's like, I don't want to train other women. I'm done. You're enough.
He was scarred for life.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this. So the next day, obviously, me being me, I was like, Robin, I came 2 minutes late and that person was 45 minutes late. Why are you comparing, Anya? So that was my first lesson in this. The second thing that he said to me was, for me, he's a client. You are my student. Please see how much investment I put into you.
True, 1,000%.
Big difference. That's what I
And
was gonna say.
suddenly, I went back and I was like, man, I can't even get upset because this makes so much sense.
This is logical.
Yeah, and he does.
Yeah.
There is a lot of investment from his side into me, and at points where I'm just at my worst possibly in life, or whatever I'm going through, this man will still be available to me.
Correct.
Whether I just want to
I
talk.
was just going to ask you about that also. Does he only help you in terms of say for instance, preparing for Kho Gaye? Was it just a physical transformation for you, or did he help you mentally also?
No, I've cried in front of him.
Many times.
I've broken down in front of. I feel like that there was. He's right. Initially, I didn't trust the process because I just felt like he's not understanding where I'm coming from. I had also had COVID back to back in 1 month, and they wanted me. We started in Feb. In April, we were supposed to start shooting, and I needed that bikini body instantly. And I was just like, how much to push myself? Like, I'm human. And once I started to trust him and the process, I just learned so much, which is why I stuck on. Because other trainers also that I had met in and around, their thing is, weight बढ़ा दो, reps बढ़ा दो, और करते जाओ. There is no understanding of your body and your sink and how much you can push yourself. So there are times we're not lifting very heavy, but it's the cleanliness of what we're doing in that
The
rep.
form, everything has to be right. Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah, quality.
Quality.
Exactly.
It's the only one word. Quality. Nothing. Coming back to the time, just 1 second.
He's not going to let it go.
2 minutes, 1 day is okay. Second day is okay.
Oh, she missed out on that, huh?
I'm coming out from.
I had in my head given myself 10 minutes ka leeway because I was coming from Bandra to Juhu.
I'm with you.
And another idea is to break that chalta hai attitude. Not for time, it starts there.
For anything, yes.
It starts there. Even now, I don't have to watch her when she's training.
Right.
Because I know that attitude is kind of eliminated. So I know she'll do it. I know she's not going to lie. I know she'll come and tell me the 10th one was shit. Or I didn't like it, let me do another one.
So she's doing it on her own.
Exactly.
She's taking that
So it's just breaking that initial barrier and taking the person or taking her to a place where that dependency on me is less.
Yeah.
You know, the thing which I was speaking to Anushka about yesterday was also that how nutrition plays a major role. Now, I don't know whether you kind of dabble with that as well. So I'll ask you first.
I think you should ask him first.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask you first. Do you even tell her or anybody, like if I was to come to you, would you tell me exactly what to eat, what portions to eat, what not to eat, etc.? So, and how important is it in a fitness journey?
It's more important than training.
Okay.
For longevity,
More
important than training. Of course, both are very important, but your nutrition plays a key role. Nutrition plays a super important role, and in terms of guiding and putting a plan across, I wouldn't tell you exactly what to eat, but I'll give you certain guidelines. And I'll give you a set
what not to do.
of 10 to 12 rules which I always have with her, when we're working on a deadline or in general. Follow that, keep it simple.
That's my line.
Keep it simple because I'll do it for, okay, come on, like if I'm preparing for a role or something, I have 12 weeks, we can go. I'll get a professional on board who I'll work in sync with. I'll tell the nutritionist, this is my program, this is what I'm looking at, bump it up. And do something that give us some.
You have a goal of particular kind.
Exactly. Otherwise, keep it easy. Because you want to go till maybe 120, 130. I don't want to do it for 3 months and then go crazy for 1 week. And even
I tend to do that, sometimes because suddenly some work comes and I have only 3-4 months to get ready. I kind of go ballistic. But when I stop doing that, my body takes a bad hit.
It's not good.
Yeah,
It's not good. So
know.
even with her, like right now we don't need the body, but I'm trying to keep it at a place where I'm 2 or 3 weeks away from anything.
body that she needs.
Give me a heads up, I can do it. We're not rushing, we're not killing yourself, we're not harming ourselves in any way. And even with a lot of the guys, the younger guys who are getting into it right now, we're working with, I'm trying to inject that principle. Others, I'll tell you, it's actually not too bad.
Really?
It's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It's not, of course, not
That's
as sharp.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
We compliment very rarely.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine if he says, "Arey wah, kya
Yeah.
I will go to your head."
no.
तो देखो मैं fun question पूछता हूँ.
हाँ.
अभी nutrition के बारे में तो इसने बोल दिया. Fun question ये है कि do you believe in cheat meals? If yes, what is your most favorite जो दिल को सुकून देता है cheat meal?
But-
What day?
I cheat all the time.
Oh God.
But I do.
Really?
And I think it's very
Sing it in front of him.
but I'm very honest with him.
You cheat all the
So
time.
Adarsh was so good. Even if it was like one extra biscuit maybe that he felt like eating that day, he'd ask Robin. And
How?
I was just sitting and eating my biryani and like enjoying myself.
Guns and Gulab, they were shooting. I've gotten a call at night because I think Rajkumarrao's film released and it did well.
Right.
So to celebrate, he got like pizza for the entire crew from somewhere in Mussoorie arranged, yeah.
And others called you.
And Mussoorie or wherever we were. And Adarsh just called me and I can hear him whispering, Rob, there's cheese burst on the table. And he's whispering, there's cheese burst on the table. Can I have one slice? And what he didn't realize, everyone heard him. And I could hear them all laughing at him at the back and saying, I can't believe it. Of course.
Of course, yeah.
I never say it. I don't say no.
celebratory.
I'm not the guy who'll sit on your head and be like, no. I'm like, we know what has to be done and
It's
do it
on
right.
you then.
It's on you.
Yeah.
I never said no, but they all laughed at him. They mocked him.
But how sweet.
Very,
He's
very.
very
I haven't heard of somebody like this. I mean,
She wasn't, but when she knows now something is there, she kind of goes down
And
that
also, I
road.
feel when you ask your guru or your teacher or your coach or whatever, there are times they indulge you.
Yeah.
But when they say no, it helps you to say no to
Absolutely.
it. This is my thought. I'll ask you not just to take permission, but to get you a little bit of support.
Yeah.
कि नहीं,
Yeah.
ये मत खा,
Yeah.
ये मत खा, ये वाला मत खा. इसकी जगह ये खा ले. तो I think it works both ways. तो तुम्हारा cheat meal favorite क्या है? वो तो बताओ. चलो, you cheat all the time, but favorite क्या है?
So I love aloo. So French fries or aloo took with Sindhi curry.
Sindhi curry.
I love it.
I love it
I
too.
love
Me
it.
too.
With remember we ate once at the gym. We ate aloo took Sindhi curry.
We have
and
one
rice.
Sindhi teammate.
Yeah.
So her nani had sent Sindhi curry and
So
took
good.
for the team. And Anya was training. And I mentioned, oh, Sakshi, it's for the team? She said, yeah.
Very
But
subtle.
Anya has not moved. Our team is sitting. Anya sat with us.
But I have to say, I really
I
feel
love people
No.
who love food.
I love food, but also to come back to the tribe. When I started with them, it was this really cute small space.
Right.
Sony House.
Sony House. Just opposite only.
Just
Yeah.
one chota room like this, and we would all be training.
Actually, somebody deterred me from coming to you. You said बहुत tough है तू नहीं कर पाएगा.
No.
I said यार ये मतलब मेरे को बोल रहा है बहुत tough है नहीं कर पाऊंगा तो मतलब कैसा हुआ है?
But a lot of people, even when they watch, because we put out videos or whatever, a lot of people are under this misconception that no, they're very hard and they train too hard. But what they don't realize is they train you according to your body also. And we have also worked and gotten there. It's not like you enter and you're like ready to go.
I love the fact that you guys do that community building thing and the support and all that.
I think
That's
it's
fantastic.
important.
It's very important.
I
It's so
think-
much fun and
yeah.
relaxing also.
I think that's why the people that go there aren't able to also go to other places.
Right, yeah.
Because the energy that Karan, Anushka and Robin bring to this place,
Oh, I have to come to you now.
it's very
must.
nice.
It's like I'm really promoting the tribe on my
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's just that I think that the way you guys are doing it, like she said, is novel, interesting and fun.
Yes.
Workout shouldn't be a chore.
Yeah.
Like, अरे यार अब gym जाना है.
Yeah.
No.
Stuff like
And not only that, they started this whole concept of a retreat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That was amazing.
And
was
we
great.
were 30 odd people. Nobody knew each other. And one night before, I remember, because I was still shooting for Kho Gaye, I was just
You
like,
didn't go? You
I
went,
went.
right.
I went. And it was such a beautiful feeling because I also feel like any sort of sport, breaks that ice automatically, and suddenly you're helping each other,
Right.
you're rooting for each other, you're cheering each other on.
Makes a major difference.
Major difference.
Yeah.
And we were 30 people who didn't know each other and had
It was
a
incredible.
great time.
I would have come, if I had a six pack, because I saw all the other people. I said, "Inke samne shirt."
Arey.
Hey, next time.
Next time.
It was-
तो यार पहले train करूँगा उसके बाद.
Just come.
The one question that is very specific. How do you say simple rakho nutrition? Like if I was to ask you, कि मैं क्या खाऊं? Because I work out at least an hour and a half every day. कभी hour, कभी hour. And a lot of people told me don't need to do cardio. But I like doing cardio. It kind of amps up my heart rate, whatever. I feel good. I don't know whether it's taking away or it's giving me anything. What is the kind of diet I should follow? I understand calorie deficit.
Understood.
How do you keep it simple?
For your cardio, do it. It's not about working or not working. You have your cardiovascular health.
Correct.
You have your heart. It needs that.
It needs that.
So even that little low intensity cardio, high intensity cardio, even a little bit you do is good for you.
Yeah.
So don't go by that. And in terms of keeping it simple, I would say one good rule is having your meals on time.
On time. Exactly the same time.
Having your meals, having timely meals, not pushing it, not binging in the middle of the night.
Truth be told, there are times you really crave, and every time if you I'm not taking away anything from your teachings, but I feel that sometimes you just need to let yourself go and just be happy. It's a midnight binge is not going to take so much away from me, but imagine the amount of happiness it must have given her.
But वो sometimes खत्म नहीं होता
But
है.
the problem was that it was every night.
Exactly.
But now,
You don't start the story properly, yeah?
no, I said I eat whatever I feel like eating, but I will tell
Once in
you.
a while you do a midnight.
But I have reached a point where today I make better choices, and I shock myself by doing it sometimes.
Healthier choices.
Yeah. Cleaner choices.
Cleaner choices.
Actually,
Actually, once you see the difference in your body, you
Exactly.
yourself become
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
You're just
So
mindful.
I swear by this Ayurveda, Panchkarma. I keep doing it every 3-4 months. And I can't explain to you the kind of difference that it makes to my body. It's not only weight loss,
Yeah.
it's just cleansing, detox,
Yeah.
all my insides. I feel so much lighter. So if I come back, say 5 kilos lighter, I feel 15 years younger.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
I just came back from a wellness program where they do the Panchkarma. I didn't do the Panchkarma. I just did
I
the.
can tell you one thing, guaranteed. If you go to any of the Kerala spas, not the real ones,
Yeah.
not the resort ones,
Correct.
the real ones for 2 weeks, your life will change.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're unhealthy. You're healthy, you're good, you're looking good, all of that. But the cleansing they do inside, I'm sure you've
Good, yeah.
read about it and heard about it. It is incredible, bro. And till I don't do anything, the reason I started this podcast was to tell people simple information.
Yeah.
We don't give gyan here.
Yeah.
You're sharing what you know, you're sharing
Yeah.
what you know, I share what I know.
Yeah.
And I also tell people that, you do a little research for yourself
Yeah.
there. Like, तुम्हारी body type क्या है, तुमको कौन से workout करने
Exactly.
चाहिए,
Exactly.
कौन से खाने तुमको अच्छे लगते हैं, I found out by trial and elimination. Like, I don't have wheat intolerance, but the moment I eat like a heavy paratha or roti, I feel bloated. I don't know whether it's, gluten intolerance or what. So trial and error,
Yeah.
trial and error. I used to be, but my mother used to say, "Tum chawal khao." Because of these nutritionists, I stopped eating rice. And she said, "Who has told you this?" And I'm a Bengali. How can I not have rice? And then I met a proper certified nutritionist. He said, "You can have rice." I mean, who told you not to have rice? I mean, don't have overly processed basmati, but there's several other kinds of rice which are very good for your system.
Correct.
So I think you learn that way. Okay, now let's play a fun segment.
Okay.
Before we let you go, now that you have taken off on her and you've given him back, it's time to take it off on me. It's called the Ask Rohit segment.
Okay.
Okay.
You can ask me any one question. Hopefully it'll be about diets and fitness and longevity or whatever it is. So we'll start with you.
Your favorite mode of training? What do you like the best?
I should have asked you that before. My favorite mode of training is pushing weights.
Okay.
And I have this newfound love for yoga, which I discovered on one of my retreats.
Okay.
And since then I've started, it's changed a lot in me in terms of muscle flexibility. When I used to work out, listen, I'm from the 90s, and 90s we used to push. And like it's going out of style, right? So a lot of my muscles were really tight, I would not stretch. But since I incorporated yoga into my routine,
Great balance, yeah?
कुछ भी बोलो, कैसे भी बोलो, कहाँ से कूदना है. So I feel a lot better, and like I said, I incorporate a little bit of cardio every day. I don't care. Who's
Fasted?
saying what? Yeah.
Fasted?
So either I do HIIT
Okay.
for 20 minutes, or sometimes I do low steady state cardio, like I'll walk or I'll do the cycle. And the one thing which I've been kind of told to do, but I don't do very often, is swimming. So, but this is my basic routine, and it's very simple. Push, pull, legs, blah, blah, blah. Simple.
Efficient.
We'll discuss a lot more when
Absolutely.
we meet, but this has been working for me.
When we meet.
When we meet.
Soon.
When we meet.
अब तो promise
Soon.
कर दिया कैमरे
Yeah.
पे. और इनको भी बोल दिया अब तो आऊँगा. Retreat से पहले 6 pack.
Yeah.
We can do a group session.
Yeah, we'll do a group
Body
session,
training.
and then I'll see how good she is.
Oh,
then I'll
God.
try
Then
and
he'll know.
Emulate her. Then you know. He's still not giving a full compliment. Okay, your turn.
So, what actually keeps you consistent? Is it the love for, while you train, or the after effects of what you gain from it? Because I feel like a lot of us make it, but the consistency and the discipline, and you said you've been doing this for years. Right? It can get so boring also.
Yeah. So it's a double-pronged answer. Of course, I have to do this for my profession. Because I have to look a certain way, come what may, whatever stage, age, you have to look a certain way. But what I've realized is, even after a hard day's work, when I hit the gym for 45 minutes, I come out feeling refreshed.
Correct.
So I might go in tired, but I come out feeling refreshed, and that dopamine kick or whatever it is, it's always worked for me. I've never felt कि tired आज नहीं जाना. I think like that. Bandra to जुहू आते हो ना, हम लोग ना
Should have never said this.
हम लोग वसई से जुहू आते थे, तो वो जर्नी में आधा enthusiasm खत्म हो जाता था. And then my first gym was Talwalkar's in Juhu. Yeah, that's when I started training in '96 almost. Yeah. And I used to go there, and that time there was AC नीचे खुले में, and we used to go there, and then of course there was a sense of community even back then, different kind of sense, but we used to also go down, आगे चलो, let's do this. So yeah, the two-pronged answer is that A, one, I do it for my profession, and B, I feel really good after doing whatever I do. Sometimes I just go and run and come back.
Come in.
That's it.
Can I ask both of you one question?
Sure.
Because, and this is for my mother, because she says she walks. How beneficial is walking? And like, what speed and time, after which does it actually
How
start
old is your
helping? She's in her late 50s.
Late 50s.
Yeah.
You want to go first?
I'll let you.
I'm very simple. This 10,000 steps a day is a myth.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
For me
myth.
too.
So you should tell your mother that.
okay.
It is the bare minimum that you should do.
Correct.
And I swear by the benefits of walking.
Okay.
At her age.
Okay.
A 25-year-old walking 10,000 steps is going to make no difference. Of course, it will make a little difference, but it's like a water in a ocean, a drop in an ocean. So for your mother, I think walking twice a day, if possible, breaking up into half an hour, morning, evening, is great.
At least.
Yeah.
है ना?
Oh, yeah.
Half an hour तो होना चाहिए.
Half an hour तो होना ही चाहिए. आधा
40
घंटा-
minutes होना चाहिए.
आप पूरे दिन में 1-1.25 घंटा चल लो काफी.
अच्छा.
अब 60 की होने वाली है, लेट 50s में है. अगर मेरे हिसाब से ब्रेकफास्ट और डिनर के बाद आधा घंटा चल ले तो काफी.
Okay. ठीक है.
वर्कआउट करती हो?
नहीं.
तेरी माँ भी नहीं करती.
Her only form
आपने
of
सिर्फ चलने के बारे में पूछा तो मैंने
But-
खाली
no,
चलने
because
के
that's
बारे
her
में.
only form of exercise. So
But
I
you know,
just wanted to
incorporating
understand
even
how.
20 minutes of strength training
It'll make
will
a big
benefit her so much. And when I say strength training, I mean the most basic stuff
Basic.
she can do with a band. A little bit, I've shown you so much spine work on the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe hanging with her toes on the floor.
Really pushing
Maybe
it
she-
now.
No.
Yeah, now you push it.
When I say,
Now you were fine.
trust
And you
me,
pushed it.
when I say hanging, I
I'm
mean
saying get a 2.5 pound के dumbbell and
just
tell
there.
him to give you a-
Not even that. What hanging does for
stretches the spine.
any, what is aligning your spine? The greatest force of nature, gravity. But I'm not telling you to hang. Even place your toes on the floor
Acha, you mean
and just lengthen yourself.
Acha.
Even something like that
Okay.
will free her from the
No, maybe she, that
ooh,
will be a bit much for her to kind of wrap her in. But what you're saying is true. It's some kind of stretching.
something. What am I teaching you for? To pass it on.
For me to pass it on. I didn't
Yeah.
But it's
realize.
a good idea. Why
Yeah.
don't you try that? Show your mother, hi, this episode, and tell her that, maybe try this.
Yeah, I will. I'll,
Just the basic things will make her walk more enjoyable.
she'll enjoy the walk.
Yeah.
True, I agree. My
This
mom
is also
said an
for
hour and a
people
half come walking.
her age in and around, just because I feel like we have
And
so
you know,
much
she's
more
She's
information.
still late 50s. So
Yeah.
now if she
Yeah.
starts, she'll be
Good.
super good.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we let you up, since this is an episode for inspiring younger people and older people actually, we all reach a plateau at times. We all reach a roadblock or a mountain which seems unconquerable. Have you ever reached a stage like that? Yes or no, doesn't matter. What is your keep going mantra? What do you tell yourself? Okay, let's go.
I actually very recently reached a point.
Oh.
Yeah. It was more emotional, I would say. What kept me going was I was escaping. I was finding ways to escape, but actually sitting and accepting and spending that time with myself. And I think facing and absorbing the situation is extremely important, and that's the only way you can move forward in any
Interesting.
circumstance.
So accept what it is and then
Yes.
face it. Oh
Yes.
wow. Good one. Wise one.
Learning.
Wise one. And your keep going mantra. You've obviously had a lot more than us.
I would say number one, slow it down
Okay.
and keep it playful. Depends on what stage you're at. I like what she said, like identifying it. Once you till you don't identify and accept it, you can't fix it.
First I thought she's saying I was escaping it. I said, my God, that's not the advice.
No.
But I would say
Good one.
slow it down. Like for me, I had the best. 2021 was one of the best years of my life.
When you were in Mexico for
When I was in Mexico, I had the world-class wave, 20 meters. Like she's heard all about it because when I was back, I could not stop talking about it, and I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
Again.
He
Like,
did not like Bombay.
One thing I did not like, I used to intentionally fight with Karan so that he fights back with me and I say, I'm out. But I
Karan
love
is
him.
so
I love him
patient.
because he knew me
He knows why.
and
you're
he
doing
never
it.
reacted and he said, we're not going anywhere. And I'm grateful that he did that. But after having one of the best years of movement, I had both my knees, I was on a wheelchair.
Right.
And it made me, when I had my double knee surgery, I could not walk. I needed help to go to the bathroom. And it was the most depressing thing
Yeah.
ever because I had fresh memories of me on this big wave and, grappling. And I was like, Jesus. So it was actually I took it as a calling that I was going too fast.
And you had to slow down.
And that was my way to slow down. And my way to get back was I had to keep it playful. If I went too serious about it, so I've kept that with me. I've kept that with me. Like keeping it playful just...
Yeah, sometimes
Makes
I
it
tend
fun.
to race also. We all tend to race. And the Bombay is a city which
Yeah.
is like that. Yeah. No wonder you wanted to go back.
Yeah.
Superb.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
coming.
Thank you
much.
for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Superb conversation.
And we're
And I
gonna
promise
see
you
you.
again.
Yes.
I'm coming.
Yes.
I've already promised
I'm
you.
must.
I will
waiting
be there.
since a while. Thank
I will
you.
be there. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, so that was Anya and Robin, and I hope that you've been inspired by their incredible journeys. I'll see you soon again. Till then, be unstoppable. Lots of love. Take care.